Hey everyone and welcome. Today we're going to get a handle on 25 new vocabulary words. We're going to break them all down in a really simple way, making them super easy to remember, not just for your tests, but for everyday life too.
So, how are we going to do this? Simple. To make things way easier, we've sorted all the words into 5 logical groups. We'll start with words that mean something is a perfect fit, then we'll jump to words about information, then war and money, then a bunch of useful names for things, and we'll finish up with some really powerful words that show intensity.
All right, let's kick things off. Our very first group is all about things that are just right for the moment. They're appropriate, they're relevant. Let's see how these words are really similar, but also have some important little differences. Okay, this slide is perfect because these 3 words can be tricky. First up, apposite. It means something is perfectly suitable or fitting. If your friend is having a bad day, a kind word is a very apposite thing to say. Next, we have apropos. It also means relevant, but we usually use it to change the subject slightly to something related. You might say, apropos of talking about travel, I just booked a trip. It's like saying, speaking of. And finally, there's apt. This one's the most flexible. It can mean fitting, sure, but it also has 2 other common meanings. You could be an apt student, which means you learn quickly. Or you could be apt to do something, which just means you have a tendency to do it. Like, my friend is always apt to be late.
Ready for our next group? Let's move on. This section is all about information, how we find it, how we share it, and how we make official decisions based on it. You're going to see these words a lot in news articles and more formal writing.
Now here are 2 verbs that look and sound alike, so they're really easy to mix up. First, to appraise. Think price. To appraise something is to judge its value. Usually it's money value. A jewelry expert might appraise a diamond to see how much it's worth. But to apprise someone is totally different. It just means to inform them or tell them something. You might ask your boss, please apprise me of any updates.
And hey, here's a fantastic little memory trick to keep these 2 straight. Look at the word appraise. It has the word praise inside it, and praise is a type of judgment. Easy. Now look at apprise. It sounds a bit like surprise. And what happens when you get new information? Sometimes it's a surprise.
Let's keep going. To ascertain something is to find it out for certain, to be absolutely sure. A scientist does experiments to ascertain if a theory is true. Next, to ascribe is to say something is caused by something else. You're giving credit or blame. For example, you could ascribe your good grades to studying hard. And finally, arraign. This is a specific legal word. It means to officially bring someone to court to face charges. After an arrest, the next step is to arraign the suspect.
Okay, we're shifting gears a little bit. Our third group of words is a bit more intense. These all deal with pretty serious topics like the military, money problems, and how things get divided up.
This table lays these 5 out really clearly. To apportion is just to divide something and share it out fairly. A parent might apportion candy between their 2 kids. Armament refers to all military weapons and equipment, and an arsenal is the collection of those weapons or the building where they are stored. An armistice is basically a truce. It's an agreement to stop a war. And finally, arrears. This is about money. If you are in arrears, it means you are late on payments you owe.
All right, now for our biggest section. But don't worry, it's filled with really useful nouns. These are all words we use to name specific people, places, parts of things, you name it.
So many great words here. An appellation is just a fancy word for a name or a nickname. The City of Light is a famous appellation for Paris. An appendage is a part that's attached to a bigger body. Your arms and legs are appendages. An appurtenance is like an accessory that comes with a bigger thing. A house is the main thing. Its garage is an appurtenance. Then we have places. An arcade is a covered walkway, often with shops. And an archipelago is simply a group or chain of islands, like Japan or Hawaii.
And let's finish this section with 2 more, the archives. This is the place where important historical records and documents are stored. Think old letters, maps, and photos. And an artisan is a person who is very skilled at making things with their hands, like a master baker, a glassblower, or someone who makes beautiful furniture.
We are on our final group now, and we've definitely saved some of the most dramatic words for last. This whole group is about intensity. These are words that describe really strong emotions, extreme situations, and powerful qualities.
These words definitely pack a punch. Apoplexy technically has an old medical meaning of a stroke, but nowadays you will almost always hear it used to mean a state of extreme, uncontrollable anger. Like, he was nearly in a state of apoplexy over the bad news. Apostasy is a very serious word. It's when someone totally abandons their most important beliefs, whether it's their religion or their political party. And appalling. This just means something is absolutely terrible, shocking, and horrifying.
And here are our last two words for today. Arid can mean literally very dry, like an arid desert with no water. But we also use it to describe something that is really, really boring. You could say a long technical lecture was totally arid. And finally, errant. Now this is a special one. It means complete or total, but, and this is the important part, we only use it for bad things. You can talk about errant nonsense or an errant liar, but you would never say someone is an errant hero. It's an amplifier just for negative things.
And just like that, you've learned 25 new essential words. That's awesome. So before we finish up, let me ask you a question. Thinking about your own goals for learning, which of the words we learned today is most apposite, most fitting for describing what you want to do? Give it some thought and keep up the great work.